Welcome into Steelers Talk Live, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, your host. We are coming to you from Chat Sports Studios here in Dallas, Texas. And man, the Steelers, we have some breaking news on Steelers Live today. Markus Golden, outside linebacker, formerly with the Arizona Cardinals, has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers on a one-year deal. So get in the comment section right now and let me know. What is your grade for this signing right now? Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. Let me know that you're in the chat right now by giving me a grade. I'm going to give some shout-outs here. But first, I want to bring on my lovely producer, helper, clown, whatever you want to call him, Jeremy Chuggs. We are here. We have been scrambling to get this show out early today. But man, Chuggs, we are here. We are ready to go. Markus Golden is a Pittsburgh Steeler. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling great. I thought, you've been talking about for weeks that the Steelers need another rotational pass rusher.
Yep. For weeks we've been talking about Bud Dupree, and then that didn't work out. He went to Atlanta, and then you got Kyle Van Noy that you're thinking maybe might be a Steeler, and it just never really worked out. And then this week they bring in Markus Golden. And I actually thought that he was going to sign yesterday. The initial report was he's going to come to the Steelers facility yesterday.
Yeah.
That turned out to not happen. He came today. He ended up signing. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments about this particular signing. We got a B+ from Jason. Let's see. We got
C+ from Cutboy.
Cutboy says C+. What do you guys think, man? I like the signing. I think Markus Golden is a solid player.
Especially as a rotational piece. Because, like you said, Herbig, he needs to grow into the role.
Yep.
And like you'll break down in the video that you'll see here in a couple minutes, if TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith would have gotten hurt without this signing, it would have been bad news for the Steelers defense.
It would have been bad news, man. Now you get a guy that's 260 pounds. He's played in the league for a long time as a starter.
He reminds me a lot of Bud Dupree.
Yeah, he's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
He's a bit bigger than Bud Dupree, but yeah, very similar. Very similar in that way.
They can both almost, be a 4-3 defensive end, maybe a little bit on the light side for that, but can also kind of be the outside linebacker. And just utility edge rusher is kind of what I think of when I think of Markus Golden and Bud Dupree.
Absolutely. I'm going to be interested to see who's going to get most of the rotational pass rush reps on those obvious passing situations, nickel formations on third down. Who's going to get those reps to kind of come in for TJ?
Sid P said nothing special. He's had 3 seasons with double-digit sacks.
Yeah, Markus Golden's had a very productive NFL career. Last year, just 2.5. Like, it's definitely possible that, he's on the wrong side of his career right now.
He was on a Cardinals team that was not very good last year.
No. They were, let's just call it what it is. They were hot garbage last year.
Their best player on defense was J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt, easily.
And he's retired.
He was an old man. He was leading them. Although J.J. did have 12 sacks last year. Let's give him his flowers there. But anyway, man, Markus Golden, I think, is somebody that's going to come in. He's going to be an immediate contributor. Is it anything like knock your socks off amazing, like a Unique Ngakoue or a Justin Houston? No, it's not. But it's something that's a pretty safe move.
Also, contract details yet to come out.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody who I'm pretty sure cheaper than those other options.
Oh, probably. Yeah, they'll probably sign him to probably max $2 million. I don't think it'll exceed $2 million.
We know it's a one-year deal. I wouldn't be surprised if it's floating around the vet min.
Oh, yeah. He's getting older. He had a down year last year. 2 years ago, though, man, 11 sacks with the Arizona Cardinals. So I think he can still play in the National Football League if called upon. If I were Mike Tomlin, I would kind of have him as in like that fourth role where I would have TJ and Alex as my starters, and then I'd have Nick Herbig as my first rotational guy on those, very obvious passing situations, that kind of stuff. And then if one of the big guys gets hurt, you have Golden to just plug in there as a starter on those early downs, somebody that's played in this league for a long time, someone that's a good veteran. I think it's a really good signing. Personally, could they have done better? maybe, especially because they have over $11 million in available cap.
Yeah.
Like it would have been nice to get a Unique Ngakoue or Justin Houston or a Kyle Van Noy, someone of that nature. But Markus Golden, very solid player. And at the end of the day, I trust Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin to make the best decision for their football team. I think that they know what they're doing. I think they've earned that trust over the course of this offseason. And I'm excited to see what Markus Golden can do in black and gold.
Me as well. And like we said, Sperry's going to be breaking it down for you in a couple minutes.
That's right.
We scrambled, filmed something really quick so we could get it out, to get the news out to everybody.
We literally filmed the video you guys are about to see right before we clicked start the stream.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it was.
We were cutting it close.
It was a lot of scrambling, but before we get started, we were talking about before the show about the crazy licensing deal the Steelers just got done with Ireland.
Yeah, it's like the global marketing program that the NFL is doing. The Steelers have exclusive marketing rights in Ireland now.
And we know Steelers fans run far and wide.
Oh yeah,
so we want to know.
And we know Steelers fans like to drink.
We know it.
We know Ireland is the perfect choice for Steeler Nation.
So let us know in the comments. I want to see where everybody is watching from. This is always one of my favorite parts about the live shows, seeing where everybody is watching from, because it's truly spread out across the world.
It is. I mean, Steeler Nation, I mean, you see it every time the Steelers have an away game. They take over stadiums. We saw it in Atlanta last year.
Yeah.
We saw it in Indianapolis last year. We see it everywhere that the Steelers go. I have a bunch of people contacting me saying, that I'm going to this game, in an away game. Like, many people. Like, there's so many people that are so passionate about the Steelers, no matter where you guys are from. We got Matt Hyde from Pennsylvania, Jamestown. Got Don Riggins from Tampa, Florida. Got Sid P. He's in Mexico City this week. He must be on vacation. Thanks for spending part of your vacation.
Cassie from Dallas, Cutboy from Pittsburgh, Michael from Syracuse, Jay-Way from Paducah, Kentucky.
Let's go.
I hope I said that right. I might have butchered it. Jason's in East Texas.
Joshua's from Atlanta.
MJR from Youngstown, Ohio. Steele Davis from Hilo, Hawaii.
Steelers
all day.
Sheila Tay from Philadelphia.
Daniel from Dayton, Ohio. Patrick in home base
That's
in
right,
Pittsburgh.
in the Berg. Let's go, Patrick.
And Drew from Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. Let's go.
I know
it's not exactly.
It's right there, though.
It's right next to Ireland.
Neighboring. It's right there.
So if you want to go to Ireland, I'm sure there's going to be some Steelers marketing over there here pretty soon.
Austin.
Hopefully the Irish can bring the luck of the Irish to the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2023. That's what I'll have to say.
Austin Tardif from South Carolina. He's a real one.
He's a real one. Austin, man, you got to let me know when you get that Steelers flag that you won.
Rob Slavic writes, Rob Slavic from Belverden.
Let's go, man. Let's get this show on the road.
Let's go.
Dude, comparing Ireland to Scotland,
Those
those are fighting words.
There's a lot of history there.
Yeah, there is a lot of history there. Maybe we're a little bit out of line there. All right, man.
Little out of bounds, maybe.
Maybe a little out of bounds, okay?
But, all right, before we get the show started, we have one more ask of you. There's only 12 likes on today's video.
We need to get that number up. Those are some rookie numbers in this racket. Come on.
There's 85 people watching. Can we get half of that? Can we get 40 likes so we can break down the Markus Golden signing?
What number did you say we need to get to here?
Just half. Can we get to 40? We need to get the likes up so we can break down this news.
Let's get to 40. 40 likes and we will start the show. I'll say this, if you love the Bengals, you love the Ravens, and you love the Browns, don't like today's video. All right, that's what I'm going to say. If you love the Steelers, go ahead, click that thumbs up icon. It's a free and easy way to help us out here at Steelers Talk. Really do appreciate it. We need 10 more likes to start the show here, man. We've got this video ready to roll for you guys, breaking down the Markus Golden signing. We need 8 more likes. Let's get those numbers up, man. Need it. We got Matt Hyde, man. Matt Hyde. I just want to give a little shout out to Matt Hyde here before we start the show. He is always here right away. Same thing with Austin Tardif, man. You guys are the real ones. Appreciate you guys. Oh, actually, before we get going, I want to go over the super chat menu real quick that we have.
Gotcha.
So we have Super Chat menu like we always do here on Steelers Talk. And we're just keeping it pretty basic today, just pretty standard. $5.
Standard.
We'll give a Here We Go Steelers chant. I got my terrible towel ready to wave right here. $20. Chuggs will slap me with a tortilla. Okay, Brian Love, if you're watching, I think you might be putting in some 20s.
I've been working on my left hand. I actually also, just before we went live, Sperry can attest.
Yeah, literally right before.
I just got a call about what's wrong with my right wrist. I got an MRI. For any doctors in the audience, I have a non-displaced scaphoid fracture in my right wrist.
So he's been working with a fractured wrist for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then
I'm basically a warrior.
Yeah. So anyway, $100 total throughout the stream will get you into Steelers Talk Gold Club. That is a lifetime membership of the real ones here at Steelers Talk. And the potential benefits here, I think, are pretty nice here. You get a Super Chat sticker every time that you Super Chat, letting people know that you are part of Steelers Gold Club. You get a follow back from me on social media, whether that be Twitter or Instagram, whatever you have. And then also you get 3 free raffle tickets for every single raffle we have here on Steelers Talk. And Chuggs, there are whispers that we might have a Joey Porter Jr. jersey raffle next week. I still have to get it confirmed, man, but I'm really hoping we can get that for you guys. And right now, Gold Club members, these are the members of Gold Club. Want to give a big shout out to Austin Tardif, Mo Love, and Brian Love. Thank you guys so much for the support that you guys give to the channel. If you want to join Steelers Gold Club today, all you got to do, $100 in Super Chat Rev throughout the entire stream. Really do appreciate you guys. So on today's show, we're going to be breaking down the Markus Golden signing. Of course, it just happened. I'm going to be breaking down the latest news from Steelers OTAs. Some really good stuff coming out today. And I'm going to be answering your questions on the weekly Steelers Live mailbag.
We need one more like. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, we need one more like to start the show. Let's get it going.
Like. If you're the 40th like, let me know in the chat.
Let's go. We got to 40. I don't know. I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, man, thank you. All right, so we got 73 people watching. Let's get into this video right now on the Markus Golden signing. We have breaking news for you here on this beautiful Wednesday on Steelers Talk. Omar Khan has struck again as the Steelers have agreed to terms with outside linebacker Markus Golden. They've signed him to a 1-year deal. Can't wait to break down the details with you guys here in just a second. But first, this is why you subscribe to the channel. Breaking news coverage every time the Steelers make a move. You can go ahead, click that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications so you always know when the Steelers make a big move, guys. I'm telling you, they've been making a ton of moves this offseason, and because they still have 2 roster spots left, Omar Khan might not be done just yet. All right, so now we got Markus Golden coming in here. We actually thought he was going to be coming in for a visit yesterday, but he ended up coming in for the visit today, and he has agreed to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a former second-round pick back in 2015 with the Arizona Cardinals. Has spent most of his career with the Cardinals, a couple of years with the Giants. He has 3 seasons throughout his career with double-digit sacks, so this guy's been around for a while, and he'll be a good rotational edge piece for the Steelers moving forward. Of course, you got TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith as your guys there at the starting outside linebackers, but then, you know, if one of those guys gets hurt, Nick Herbig is not going to be big enough to really fill in the gaps there on those early downs against the run. Markus Golden at 260 pounds has played defensive end in this league before. Definitely a good fit for what the Steelers were looking for when it comes to their 3rd rotational edge rusher. So let me know right now in the comment section, what is your one-word reaction to the Steelers signing Markus Golden? Go ahead, go down to the comment section, let me know. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, just do me a favor, take advantage of that time by answering today's question with your one-word reaction. So for me, my one-word reaction is solid. I think that Markus Golden is a veteran player that's been very productive in this league for a long time, and you know, because he is more of a rotational edge rusher, you don't need him to be the superstar level guy that's going to be coming in and he's just going to be absolutely lighting up the box score. You want somebody that can fill in starting in a starting role if TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith goes down to play on those early downs. But but you don't necessarily want somebody that's going to want to necessarily be on the field there for all this time. He's going to be a rotational piece here, and you can see over the last couple of years, only 2.5 sacks with the Cardinals last year in 17 games, but the year before that, 2021, 11 sacks. This guy can still get the job done. He's somebody that's played in this league for a long time, has been a starter in this league for a long time, and now he's going to be coming into this rotation with T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith. One of the best outside linebacker duos in the National Football League, period. But you bring in a guy like Golden, somebody with a ton of experience, as somebody that can fill in for these guys if one of these guys gets hurt. And then, of course, you still got Nick Herbig, a really good rotational piece as well to put in there on those nickel formations and those obvious passing situations. And now that they've actually got Markus Golden, I think the Steelers are going to be trying out Nick Herbig more at inside linebacker now, because plain simply, they can afford to. So in my opinion, this move makes a ton of sense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before this signing, if T.J. Watt or Alex Highsmith got hurt, you'd be forcing Nick Herbig to go in there at starting edge rusher at like 240 pounds. That's just not quite big enough to survive against the run in the National Football League. But Markus Golden at 260 pounds, like I've said before, he's played defensive end in a 4-3 defense before. This guy's more than big enough to hold up in those early down run type situations. And he's still somebody that I think can play in the National Football League. It'll be interesting to see how he and Nick Herbig split kind of those rotational reps at outside linebacker this year, because we know the Steelers want Herbig to be an outside linebacker this season. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see what Markus Golden can do in the black and gold coming up here in 2023. So let me know right now in the comment section, what is your grade for this signing? Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F in the comment section. Can't wait to get a gauge of how you are feeling about this signing of Markus Golden. And for me, I'm going to give it a B+, okay? I'm not going to give it a straight up A. I'm going to tell you why in just a second, but I think this is a really, really solid signing. I think they maybe could have done a little bit better with the amount of cap space that they had at their disposal. There's still some really good edge rushers available on the free agency market. Markus Golden is a very, very solid player, though. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give it a B+, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with the Steelers moving forward. So here's a question that I want to ponder here. Now, Golden's a Steeler. I'm absolutely 100% backing him, but could the Steelers have done better? You take a look at some of the names that are still available in NFL free agency, and there's still some pretty darn good names that the Steelers could have picked up. I mean, Kyle Van Noy was somebody that I was really excited about. Probably could have got him, Yannick Ngakoue and Justin Houston, guys that have been really productive in this league, and you definitely had the cap space to grab one of those guys. Leonard Floyd would have been an excellent fit in Pittsburgh as well, and then Frank Clark is another good player. Kyle Van Noy has been the player that's been kind of compared or has been rumored to the Steelers lately. And you take a look at his numbers versus Markus Golden. I mean, it's pretty similar numbers, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to get too upset here. You take a look at last year's numbers: 48 tackles to 46, 8 tackles for loss to 7. Kyle Van Noy did have more sacks last year, but at the end of the day, I'm perfectly okay with this signing of Markus Golden. I think he's going to be a very, very good rotational piece for the Steelers, and it gives them a nice safety blanket, because if Alex Highsmith or T.J. Watt gets hurt, like I've said it 100 times, guys, you need to have that safety blanket in there just in case for that scenario. And, although I think the Steelers probably could have done a little bit better in this scenario, I would have loved a Justin Houston in black and gold this year, for example. I definitely trust Omar Khan, and I trust the Steelers to make the right decision for their football team, and this is the guy that they wanted to bring in, and they got their guy. So at the end of the day, I trust Mike Tomlin, I trust Omar Khan, and I am excited to see Markus Golden play with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2023, man. All right, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I really do appreciate everybody all the real ones that showed up to the end of the show here. And we got one more question for you here before I go. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed someone else? Let me know right now in the comments section. Would you have rather gone Yannick Ngakoue? Would you rather have gone Justin Houston, maybe Leonard Floyd? Let me know a name of somebody that you would rather have rather than Markus Golden. Or if you're cool with Markus Golden, just say, I'm cool with Golden, man. All right, that's going to be it for today's show, guys. I really appreciate all of the support, and make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. and turn on your notifications because we're going to be having some great OTA coverage coming up for you guys here over the next couple of days. Of course, Steelers OTAs is coming up here. Well, it's actually going on right now. We're going to be having winners and losers for you. We're going to have a bunch of great stuff for you, so make sure you click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Markus Golden is a Pittsburgh Steeler, guys. Really do appreciate all of the support that you give to the channel. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right, segment 1 in the books. Number 2 coming up here. It's going to be a Steelers live mailbag. So get your questions in right now over the next couple of minutes. Use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to skip the line and get your question at the top of today's mailbag. Really appreciate everybody that gets those questions in. And, you know, right now what we're going to do, we're going to try to break a record here at Steelers Talk.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to try to beat our chat rate record. So that is the amount of comments in the chat
in 1 minute.
In 1 minute. Okay, so our record right now is 69. Nice. Okay, but we're going to beat that today. Okay, so when I say go, I want all of you guys to type PIT.
Oh, wait, no. I think I did.
What'd you do?
Yins.
Oh, yeah. Type yins in the chat as many times as you can in a minute. We are going to try to maximize the amount of chats or comments that we get in the chat here.
Let me get it at the start of the minute, and then we'll go. All right? Ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Type those yins.
Let's get those yins in there.
Get those yins in there, man.
I'll
break
start
the
it
record right now.
I'll start it out. Let's get it. Get the yins. Get the yins in there.
Zany, they've got to be different comments. They got to be different comments, man.
Let's go.
Come on, let's get those yins in there. Let's
Matt,
break the record.
Jason, President Nitty, Jason.
Austin's in there. Matt's in there. Ahmad's in there. Michael's in there. President Nitty again.
Let's go.
Thomas, let's go. Let's rack up those numbers right now.
Yins it.
Type those yins.
Yinsy thing is possible. Get those yins.
Keep it going. Keep it flowing. Go.
The power of the yins.
Go.
Do it.
Do it now.
The power of the yins.
Dude, we are going to smash this record. Keep it going. Get those yins in the chat. How much longer we got?
Cassie, we are 15 seconds
15 more seconds. Come on, as many times as you can. We're beating this record right now, guys. Let's go. See how much we can get. I see Austin Tardif getting in there like every second. Let's go. Got Daniel getting in there. Oh, my mom.
Oh, type in yins.
Patty Gustafson's in the chat. What's up, Mom? Glad you could make it to today's show.
Let's go.
Yins, and it's not Jan's mom. It's Yins. Are we good?
We broke it.
What did we get to?
124.
Oh!
Let's go.
And you know what? You know what, Chuggs? Next week, we're gonna beat it again. Let's go.
Let's get it.
What was the number?
124.
124. Not bad. Not bad at all, man.
Thank you guys.
Did we double it? No, not quite. We did not quite double the old record, but we got close, man. Woo. All right, get your questions in right now. Use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get your question at the front of the line of today's mailbag. We're going to be talking Markus Golden. We're going to be talking a bunch of different stuff, I'm guessing. And, man, I just want to talk a little bit about Steelers OTAs while these questions get in. Kenny Pickett's looking pretty good, man. I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
he added 13 pounds.
Ever since I saw him shotgun a beer with Luke Combs, I knew.
You knew. He is the one for Steeler Nation. Absolutely, man. And I'm actually really digging the wide receiver room right now.
Oh, yeah.
Calvin Austin III has been playing well, apparently.
Super sneaky because everybody forgets about him. Allen Robinson, if he's healthy,
he can be good.
He's good.
Especially in the slot.
If I told you 4 years ago you have Allen Robinson,
oh my gosh,
he was a number one.
He was not even borderline. He was a number one receiver in this league with Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback. And he was a borderline number one with Blake Bortles. With Kenny Pickett, I'm excited to see what he can do with the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. And also, Anthony Miller is another guy that doesn't get talked about. He's more of a backup, but he's a good backup.
And so, Thomas, I see your question in there. You have to use #Steelers in your comment so I can find it and get it up on screen. So
#Steelers. Real ones, no.
So somebody ask a question using #Steelers to show everybody, yes, Damian, just like that. #Steelers, and then put your comment next to it. That's the way I can find it and get you on the show. We still have room for a couple more questions. Not too many yet have come in.
Let me ask you this, Chuggs. What do you think the Steelers are kind of done making any sort of splash move in free agency, or do they still have 2 roster spots left and a lot of cap space, most likely?
I think they're kind of playing the field right now to see, like, hey, what linebacker do we think best fits with us? Because I think it's going to be a linebacker next.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be an inside linebacker.
Yeah, it'll probably be an off-ball linebacker next because they brought in Quan Alexander for a visit.
Yeah.
Something went wrong there because usually when they bring in guys, unless there's a medical issue, they usually have those guys signed by the end of the visit.
Yeah.
That's usually the way the Steelers do it. But this year's weird because they've had 2 visits, Bud Dupree and Quan Alexander, where they left without a deal. And that's pretty rare for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't know if it's a thing, doing things differently than Kevin Colbert. I don't know if it's that or if it's just, they had medical issues that they don't like. But yeah, if they sign like another big splash signing, it's probably going to be an inside linebacker, and I guess it's either going to be Quan Alexander or Rashaan Evans.
Yeah,
one of those guys, because they've liked those guys in the past. They had high grades on them in the NFL draft.
There's also a couple safeties that are on the market that.
Maybe. I'm
John Johnson III.
Adrian Amos is still he's still available, right? I'm pretty sure he's a good player, good strong safety, and I'm excited to see KZ and Minka play together again. I loved watching KZ last year. He was awesome. I think they're going to play a lot of 2 high safety shells this year. And then you got Keanu Neal as well, who's pretty good. He's a hard hitter. He's kind of like that Terrell Edmonds type where he's like a hybrid safety linebacker.
Yeah.
So you don't need to make a move at safety. I hope, at least for the channel, it'd be good for the channel if the Steelers make one more splash signing here. I would absolutely love that. Seeing an inside linebacker like a Quan Alexander or Rashaan Evans would just be a nice little addition. So we got some more questions rolling in here.
We're good to go. We have enough questions to start our mailbag, but just a quick reminder, if you're like, hey, I need my question answered, I want to be at the front of the line,
get those super chats in.
Is you super chat.
Get those super chats in. If you want to skip the line, get your question at the top. You have something you absolutely need me to answer. Get those super chats in, man. Really do appreciate all of the support for the channel. Chuggs, we ready to roll, man? All right, dude. Let's get into this Pittsburgh Steelers mailbag here live on Steelers Talk. Welcome into Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, and today I'm answering your questions on the Pittsburgh Steelers during the Steelers Talk live show on Wednesday. And if you're watching this and it's not Wednesday, then you're not watching it during the live show, but that's okay, because if you want to get your question on next week's live show, you can send in a super thanks. So super thanks is this awesome new feature, well, relatively new feature, that YouTube has here where you can donate to channels outside of live videos. So you can click the thanks icon. It's that heart with the money sign there in the middle, and you can send any amount, and then you can send your question. We'll get to your question next week on Steelers Talk Live. Really do appreciate the support, and every single super thanks that is brought in, we will give a shout out. No super thanks this week, so no shout outs, but we appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Now let's get into the questions here with Damian Roy here, starting us off with Benny Snell. Can't fall forward for 2 yards. Cut him. I'd be okay with cutting Benny Snell. He's just never really been a good player in the league. He's not somebody that's going to be playing for the Steelers. Now, I trust Mike Tomlin to make the right call here, but overall, I agree with the sentiment here. Benny Snell is not a great receiver. And he also says this: please don't sign Zeke. I think you're good, Damian. I might be jinxing it here by saying that you're good, but I don't think Zeke is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. It might make a little bit of sense if they want to put him at fullback. Might make a little bit of sense if they want to use him as a backup, but I really don't think Zeke wants to be a backup. So I just don't really see that coming to fruition here. I don't see Zeke in black and gold, at least not this year. Then we got a $5 super chat from Austin Tardif here, who says, who would be legitimate offensive coordinator candidates next year if we move on from Matt Canada? It completely depends on who gets fired, who's available, all this different stuff. Like, it's going to depend on which college coordinators rise up the ranks, which guys in the NFL rise up the ranks. We really don't know. I mean, Byron Leftwich is somebody that's available now. That would be a decent option. And then, of course, you got your classic quarterbacks coaches on teams that do really well. I'm sure if Trevor Lawrence has a big year, the quarterbacks coach in Jacksonville is going to get a job somewhere. Like, it's not going to be a coordinator from somewhere else unless they get fired. So it's definitely hard to predict that at this point in time. Then we got Mimic Treasure 235, always in the chat here, says, what do you think the skill floor and ceilings are for our signings from the XFL? So you got Hakeem Butler, and you got Luke Barku, I believe, is the other one. So the ceiling for Hakeem Butler, I mean, it's pretty high because he's a big receiver. If you watch any of the videos of the wide receivers working out at OTAs, he is massive. Even next to George Pickens, he is big. And then he's got the wheels as well. He really showed out in the XFL. The floor is he doesn't make the team. That's the floor. And then Luke Barku, he's somebody that's played in the NFL before with the Jacksonville Jaguars, actually has some playing experience. So his ceiling is, he's a contributor, maybe a backup corner, whatever, but the floor is he doesn't make the team. So that's what I would give there for the answer for the XFL guys. Then you got Derek Chance here. He says, what are the chances that Tanner Morgan wins the emergency quarterback job over Mason Rudolph? So I'd say the chances are low. I think that they like Mason. He knows the offense. He's got a huge advantage over Tanner, especially because he's got a stronger arm than Tanner. He knows the offense better. He has more chemistry with the current coaching staff. All these things are working in Mason's favor. But, if Tanner really comes out and shows out, and apparently he's had a pretty good start to the offseason program. It's just, he doesn't really have the arm strength. He really, really doesn't. And he's really going to have to show out in the intellectual department if he's going to win that number 3 quarterback job. I would really expect Mason to win that job, and then Tanner Morgan to either be on practice squad or to be cut or to be sent somewhere else. So let me know what you guys think. Pick a quarterback 3 to be the emergency quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. If you'd rather go Mason Rudolph, type MR. And then if you'd rather go with Tanner Morgan, type TM in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, do me a favor, go down there and give me an MR or TM. All right, now we got one from Thomas here who says, why does Austin and Tomlin like Herbig to play edge, but you don't, Jack? I do. I really do, Thomas. I think that he's going to be a really good rotational edge rusher. I think he's going to be somebody that comes in as like a, rotational piece on third down, obvious passing situations. But man, the thing with Herbig is that the big knock on him was that he would just get bullied in the run game in college. That is the thing. Now, he's really good in pass coverage, actually. Like, he's really good at dropping back into zone coverage, which is why the Steelers have said that they're going to be working with him at off-ball linebacker to try to make that transition. I think in year 1 here, Nick Herbig is going to be a really good rotational edge rusher behind TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, and he'll eventually move over to inside linebacker, where I think he's going to be a long-time starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then you got Matt Hyde here who says, do you think Ben's comments on his podcast was a good thing or bad thing for Kenny? So for Kenny, I don't think it has any effect on him. I think he's laser focused on the season. I think that he's done everything right so far during the offseason program, during his training and such. He's got with his guys in Florida, all these different things. It seems like he's building the chemistry. He's really taking ownership of Matt Canada's offense this year. It seems like, last year there was no hot routes, there was no audibles, none of this stuff that he could do. But this year, it seems like they might be opening it up a little bit, and they need to do that, in my opinion. And I think Kenny's going to do a really nice job. And when it comes to Big Ben's comments, I just don't understand why. I think, first of all, people are taking it out of context. They're taking the thing that he admitted that he was wrong for thinking. Okay, he doesn't feel that way anymore. People made it seem like, oh, he doesn't want to succeed, whatever. That's not the case right now, and him and Kenny are boys, so I don't think it has any effect on Kenny's play in 2023. Then we got a question from Ahmad here who says, Steelers need another power running back. They could maybe use one, absolutely. You got Najee Harris, who I think is a really good power back. Then you got, you got Jaylen Warren, You got Anthony McFarland, Benny Snell. You got Alfonso Graham now, who was a rookie minicamp tryout. All those guys are a little bit smaller. None of those guys are true power dudes, in my opinion. And I think that adding another guy might be nice in case Najee gets hurt, because if you're going to be running a power run scheme and you're going to be running with Jaylen Warren and Anthony McFarland and Alfonso Graham as your top 3 backs, I'm just not sure how effective that would be. So, if Najee Harris gets hurt, watch out. But, I would definitely say getting another power running back is something that the Steelers could do. Then Doom Diddy, I think is how you say it here. He goes, do you think the Steelers could sign Kareem Hunt running back for depth? This would be an interesting one because Kareem is one of those guys that has the good size and good speed as well. I'm a little surprised that he hasn't signed anywhere, to be honest with you, at this point in free agency. Maybe he's got a medical thing. He would be a good fit, in my opinion, with the Steelers. He can't expect to get like a bunch of carries, though, because I do like Najee Harris. I do like Jaylen Warren. If you want to bring in Kareem Hunt and have like a true committee at the running back position, I would be okay with that as long as you're not paying Kareem too much money. But, man, I think that this would be an interesting proposition and something the Steelers should maybe keep their eye on. Then you got Rondale Jones here who says, do we need D. Hopkins? I don't think we need him, and I don't think that they're going to try to trade for him. I think they like their receivers right now. Deontay Johnson is someone that Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan really, really like. I know a lot of Steelers fans don't like DJ, but I know that the people inside the building really do. He's a great route runner. He was a big-time help for Kenny Pickett towards the end of the season last year. And then George Pickens, they're hoping that George Pickens can be their DeAndre Hopkins type guy this year, playing that X receiver that has great body control and great hands. They're hoping that George Pickens can play that role in their offense this year. So I really don't think DeAndre Hopkins is going to be an option for the Steelers going into 2023. Then we got another question here from W, a bunch of different numbers and letters here. And he says, do you honestly think the Steelers could win the Super Bowl this year with Canada calling the shots on offense? Forgive me for being skeptical. Now, I don't blame you for being skeptical because Matt Canada has not shown that he could be a championship-level offensive coordinator in the National Football League. He just hasn't, okay? But here's the thing. I think that they're converting to more of a power run scheme, which takes less coaching and less finesse and less planning than like a zone run scheme, which is what they ran before. I think that Canada needs to improve with some of his concepts in the passing game. Kenny Pickett and the offense, of course, need to execute them. But, if they figure it out, they're going to be a really, really good football team, even in a loaded AFC. But, man, if Matt Canada is disorganized, predictable, all this different stuff that he's been over the last couple of years, that might be the difference in a loaded AFC North division and in a loaded AFC conference. So will the Steelers be title contenders this season? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section by typing Y if you think yes and you believe, or if you don't believe and you think that they're going to not win the Super Bowl this year, type N for no down in the comments. Next one comes from Big Gerbil here, who says, where do you rate our wide receiver core with the tight ends? So with the tight ends included, I really think that Pat Freiermuth is one of the best receiving tight ends in the National Football League. I might even put him in the top 5 there. He's not on the level of like a Kelsey or a Mark Andrews just yet, but I think this year is really the year that you might be seeing Pat Freiermuth move up those ranks. I think he's an excellent route runner. He's got good hands. I think he's a fantastic player. And then who knows how good Darnell Washington is going to be in years to come. I don't think he's going to be like a stellar receiver in year one. I think he's going to take a little bit of time to get that part of his game right. I think Darnell Washington's going to play a lot as a blocking tight end this year and really move people off the line of scrimmage. He's going to be really, really good at that from day one. But, man, if you have Freiermuth and Washington and they're both really good receivers moving into the future, I mean, just good luck. If Matt Canada can't scheme an offense around those two guys, I don't know what you're talking about here. He needs to go. And I really like Deontay Johnson. I really like George Pickens. I really like some of these secondary pieces that they've got as well with Allen Robinson coming in. Calvin Austin III has been looking good in camp so far. I'm really excited to see what this receiving core is going to look like for the Steelers, and I think they're going to be pretty darn successful. Then we've got a question from Nothing here, nice name, says, who do you think we get at quarterback if Kenny is a bust. I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to be available via trade. I have no idea who's going to be available via free agency. I have no idea where the Steelers are going to be picking in the draft, and I don't know which quarterbacks are going to be available in the first round. There's just so much I do not know here. But what I do know is that Kenny Pickett, now at age 25, if he struggles this season, the Steelers do need to look maybe in other areas, okay? Because you can only wait so long with somebody that's already 25 years old. Now, I'm optimistic about Kenny's future. I think he showed some good things towards the end of last season, particularly in those clutch situations. But, man, if he is not great this year and the Steelers win like 3 or 4 games or something like that because Pickett just can't get it figured out, then the Steelers need to look towards another option at quarterback. Then we got Harry99 here. Says, is Najee Harris a top 5 back? I can't put him in top 5 right now. I say that he could be a top 10 guy this year. I believe in him that much. A top 10 guy in this new power run scheme with the way that he can just move, he can just run over people. We saw that towards the end of last season, what he could truly become. He was a really effective power back last year towards the end of the season. He was pretty much the main engine for the Steelers offense towards the end of the season. I'm not going to put him in that top 5 elite category, but man, I think after a good season this year, he might be considered a top 10 guy. So join the fun here and subscribe to the channel. That's going to be it for today's mailbag video. So make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications to get access to all of our great videos here. We got OTA coverage coming up, winners and losers. If you want to know which Steelers players are doing well in camp, make sure to click that subscribe button. And as always, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right, segment number 2 in the bag here. So get in the comment section right now and let me know, what is the biggest competition for the Bengals in the AFC North? I think I would think it's the Steelers.
I meant to say the Steelers for that one.
Oh, for the Steelers in the AFC North. Okay.
I was thinking Bengals because they won last year. And it would be the Steelers in my opinion for that. But for the Steelers,
it's obviously the Bengals, right?
I would think so, but also the Ravens. This is 100% the toughest division in football next year, in my opinion.
Oh, I would agree with that. If Deshaun Watson is good and Kenny Pickett is good, this is going to be a bloodbath of a division. I tell you what, man.
And then at that point, you got to look. I think it comes down to defenses, where the Bengals might be struggling on the defensive side.
Yeah. Bengals last place?
First to worst?
Those Pussycats?
I don't know.
In the basement? I would love to see that, man. I would love to see Joe Burrow knocked off his high horse. That'd be awesome. Especially if the Steelers get a nice sweep over the Bengals. That would be nice. Now, the offensive line in Cincinnati, it's a little shaky. The defense, it's a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? So
we were talking earlier. You know who led up the most sacks?
Yeah.
Last year, Bengals tackle Jonah Williams. And you know who's been sacked the most the past 2 seasons? And it's just a coincidence that he's in the same division as TJ Watt, is Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, how many sacks do you think TJ Watt will get next year? Because he's 2 years removed from a 22.5 sack season.
Which he should have beat the record. They cheated him.
Yes, they did.
On that last sack.
Yes,
of
they
the
did.
Year.
Oh my gosh, I'm still heated about that.
He got cheated.
Dude, if he's fully healthy this year, with the amount of guys that they got rushing the passer this year and the secondary, he should have at least 15. Like, he's had multiple 15-plus sack seasons. He should get to at least 15 next year. 1 per game. That's what I'm saying. Get 1 per game, TJ. If you do that, Steelers' defense is going to be one hell of a defense
legitimately
this year, man.
The only thing, which, knock on wood, go ahead, knock on it, is
go ahead.
TJ's injury.
Yeah.
Like, if TJ gets injured, that's the only, it's so cliche, but the only thing that's stopping TJ Watt is TJ Watt.
Yeah, the only thing that can stop him is if he's gone for 8 games or however long he was gone last year.
Why I love the Golden signing. It's not what he can do. It's that if him or Alex Highsmith are on the field, you at least have to look at that other side and not put 3 guys on TJ. Yeah. Not double team TJ every single play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a solid argument. The best argument you can make for not paying Alex Highsmith that massive extension is you could just say, we could put anybody on the other side of TJ Watt and they'd be good. And, you see that with...
I mean, to an extent, yes. Alex Highsmith, he can prove to people this year, especially if he has another career year.
If he beats his 14.5 sack number from last year, oh my gosh, man, you're keeping him around. Someone that young and that productive. His missed tackle rate was a little high last year, which I don't love, but man, the production's there.
Yeah.
And he's got one of the best spin moves in the National Football League. He is ravenous, and so is TJ Watt.
You can't use that excuse.
But he's not a number one guy. I do want to make that clear.
I think he can be. I think he can eventually grow into that number one guy because you can't use that excuse for everything. You can't be like, Jamar Chase actually isn't that good. He's just with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but the thing with Highsmith, though, is that his production went down big time with Watt out of the lineup. He had one big game where I think he had 2 or 3 sacks. I can't remember the number exactly. But then the rest of the games that Watt was out of the lineup, no sacks.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's, when you're getting the attention and you're not producing, should you get paid like a number one guy? That's the best argument for not giving him the money. I'm still in favor of paying him because when Highsmith and Watt are on the field at the same time, the Steelers defense is the best in the National Football League. You saw that with the numbers last year when they're both on the field. It's just awesome. The defense is incredible, and now that they've got guys like Joey Porter Jr. and Patrick Peterson, all these different guys they got, Minkah Fitzpatrick, all-pro safety. I mean, this defense is freaking awesome with Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin calling the shots. I think that both Highsmith and Watt are going to have excellent seasons next year, and I think this defense is going to be one of the best in the National Football League.
I agree.
So coming up here, we've got the latest news from Steelers OTAs. Today was day 2 of OTAs for the Steelers. Can't wait to break that down with y'all here in just a second. Chuggs, are we ready to get into today's news?
I believe so.
All right, here we go. We got some news coming to you from day 2 of Steelers OTAs. Welcome in to Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today was day 2 of Steelers OTAs, and we've got the latest news covered for you today. Can't wait to break it down with y'all here in just a second. But first, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button here to Steelers Talk, where we're going to be covering OTAs all throughout the offseason. Of course, we're going to be covering training camp as well. So if you want to know which Steelers players are impressing, which ones maybe aren't impressing, you want to stay up to date on the Steelers, go ahead, click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and join our Steelers family today. All right, so I want to start this off with a couple guys that are missing from Steelers OTAs, okay? So Larry Ogunjobi, newly signed defensive end, defensive tackle. He's missing from these non-mandatory OTAs. I do want to mention that. And then Armon Watts, the newly signed defensive tackle, formerly with the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears, not present for OTAs despite the fact that he's new. So I don't really care that these guys are gone, to be honest with you. I mean, they're not mandatory workouts, whatever. And actually, the Steelers' attendance for the OTAs so far has actually been really, really good. Okay, so they got 85 out of 87 guys on their roster in attendance, including now TJ Watt, who was not there for day 1, but he did join his teammates for day 2. There's some speculation that his fall in the pool or whatever might have injured him, and he was rehabbing for that. It seems like that's not the case whatsoever. He's fine. He showed up today. He's good. He was with his teammates. That is awesome to see. So let me know right now, what will TJ Watt's stat line look like in 2023? Will he have 15 or more sacks for the 2023 season? Give me a yes or give me a no in the comments section. I love TJ Watt. I think he's going to get above 15, but let me know what you guys think. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get a chance here, do me a favor, take advantage of that time during the ad read and answer today's question with a yes or a no. So, in other news, players have weighed in, and Kenny Pickett went from 213 pounds to 226 pounds over the course of one offseason, meaning he added 13 pounds of muscle over this offseason. This is just a testament to the hard work that this kid has been putting in to have a stellar sophomore season. And with somebody with that level of focus, I have big time belief in somebody like this to make the proper adjustments in year 2. And he's going to have to make those adjustments because, in my opinion, Pickett is the guy on the Steelers roster with the most to prove in 2023. You drafted him in the first round at age 24 just last season in the 2022 NFL draft. This year, he's going to be 25. I mean, the clock is ticking for these older quarterbacks. They have a shorter leash than the guys that are drafted at 21 years of age. Kenny needs to really deliver next season because he did show some flaws on tape, especially early on, but then later on down the road, he got better as the season went on. He really delivered in those clutch moments and nearly got the Steelers to the playoffs. So I really like Kenny Pickett. I think he's going to be somebody that has a really solid sophomore season. But, of course, Matt Canada's offense is going to play a big role in that, so I guess we will have to see. If you're a big believer in Kenny Pickett, you can get his jersey today on the Chat Sports website. Go to chatsports.com/Pickett. We got white, we got black, we got a bunch of different designs for you to choose from. If you believe in KP8, you think he's going to be the franchise quarterback for the Steelers for years to come, go ahead, get his jersey today at chatsports.com/Pickett. So is Kevin Dotson, interior offensive lineman for the Steelers, former starter, is he on his way out of the Pittsburgh Steelers organization? He was asked at his locker after day 1 of OTAs what he thought of the additions on the offensive line during the 2023 offseason, and this is what he had to say. "I'm not really mad. It's just part of the game, and there is nothing I can do about it. There's no reason to worry about it. I feel like I change. I feel if I go somewhere else or if I stay here, I feel like I'll get my opportunity. The last 9 games of the season, I feel like I was going in my stride. I felt like I was getting better. They was telling me I was getting better. They was talking a lot of good stuff during the offseason. I still can't blame them. I guess it's part of the game." So it definitely seems like Dotson isn't super thrilled to still be with the Pittsburgh Steelers because he has been kind of put down the totem pole, so to speak, here. And it might be a good time to move on from the guy. I mean, it seems like he wants a fresh start. You know, he's somebody that's a former starter that's been demoted. And, you know, it's tough for him because the Steelers did make some nice additions this year, right? Isaac Seumalo, one of the best guards in football. You're just not going to play over that guy, especially with the amount of money that he's making. James Daniels and Mason Cole both had great 2022 campaigns, at least in my opinion. So there's really nowhere for Dotson to go here. He acknowledged that. He said, you know, you pay somebody the amount of money that you're paying Seumalo, you're pretty much etching it in stone. He's going to start. Seems like he's a little bit bummed about that. And if you cut him, you're going to be saving just under $3 million here. $2.743 million is the exact figure there. And, you know, the Steelers don't necessarily need that cap space, right? They got 2 roster spots to fill after they signed Markus Golden. And, you know, they're probably going to have about $10 million in cap space for 2023 still available to them. So by no means do they need to make this move. But, you know, for somebody that was a former starter, somebody that, you know, just doesn't really seem to be super thrilled about being a backup, at least here in Pittsburgh, it might be the right time to let Kevin Dotson go. So should the Steelers cut Kevin Dotson before the start of the 2023 season? Let me know by typing C if you would cut him, or type K if you want to keep him for offensive linebacker depth. Oh, and for me, I'm gonna say cut. I mean, I'm gonna say cut for him because I want players that want to be in the locker room. I want guys that are ready to go to war no matter what. It just seems like he's not too thrilled about being in the same locker room that he was once a starter in. Now he's a backup. It just doesn't seem like the right vibe to me. For me, I would cut him and maybe go out and get a nice free agent. So before I go, I'll have some notes from Steelers practice on day 2, and of course day 1 as well. I'm going to be mixing in a lot of stuff here. And I want to start with somebody that I want to talk about so bad as a really, really great player for the Steelers moving on into 2023, and that's Calvin Austin III. And apparently, based on what I'm hearing, he is showing out in the drills. His agility is insane. The speed is really popping off the film, so to speak. He's somebody that is really impressing coaches and media members right now, which is a fantastic, fantastic sign here heading into the 2023 season. Now, Calvin Austin III is somebody that's going to have to prove that he deserves playing time this year. Okay, you got Deontay Johnson and George Pickens. Those guys are locked in. You got Allen Robinson coming in here via trade, somebody they clearly wanted on the roster. And I think Calvin Austin III, his role this season could be playing special teams quite a bit as a punt and kickoff return man. But I think he's also going to be kind of like that fourth receiver in your 4 wide receiver sets. And I think he's also going to be playing a lot on third downs and obvious passing situations. Because, I mean, that kind of athleticism and the explosion that he brings to the table. If none of that has been compromised by the foot injury that he had last year and he's still that speed demon, the Steelers need to find a way to get that guy on the field. Then we got Dan Moore Jr. next on the docket here, who got first-team reps at left tackle over first-round rookie Broderick Jones. Now, I actually really like this move by Mike Tomlin to make the rookie earn his position. For me, I think Broderick Jones by week 1 will be the starting left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Dan Moore Jr. was the starter last year, and Broderick's got to take it from him. Plain and simply, there's no handouts here. And Mike Tomlin is exactly the type of head coach that makes his rookies earn their playing time. That's exactly what Broderick Jones is going to have to do. It seems like Broderick is up to the task. He was saying, yeah, man, I got to earn it. Dan Moore is the presumptive starter at this point, but I think that Broderick Jones, with the talent that he brings to the table, will eventually take that starting role. I think it's probably going to be by week 1. Then we got Connor Hayward here, where there's some rumors going around that he could be moving to fullback, but he was working with the tight ends in day 1 of OTA practice. Somebody that I've said for all offseason, move him to fullback. He's got the perfect body type for it. He's a great receiver. He's somebody that Matt Canada, if he was smart, would really want to use this guy as a receiving weapon from the fullback position. Some of the best play callers and offensive game planners in the National Football League, like Kyle Shanahan, the head coach from Mike McDaniel from Miami. Those guys use fullbacks as receiving weapons, and it's awesome. But, you take a look at Connor Hayward. He's going to probably be working with the tight ends here, but I really hope in the coming days that he gets some work at fullback. I think that is probably the best move for the Steelers next season, especially if you're going to be running a power run game. I want to have a fullback in those I formations, especially towards the goal line. I think Connor Hayward would definitely fit that role nicely. So where do you think Connor Hayward will play this season? Type TE if you think he's going to be a tight end, or if you think he's going to be a fullback, type FB in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. I really appreciate you stopping by and being a real one. We're going to be having more OTA coverage here coming up, so make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you always know when we put out our free videos here on YouTube. That's going to be it for me today, guys. I will see you guys later, and as always, here we go, Steelers. All right.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Woo. Little quickie show today. We got some breaking news that came out.
Yeah, man. It's good.
OTA notes and a mailbag.
So here's the deal. Will the Steelers be title contenders this season? If Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett get their shit together, they could be. Absolutely. I think this is going to be a top 3, if not the best defense in the league next year. Maybe I'm being over-optimistic about that, but I see the talent, I see the coaching here, and I think they're going to be special. And Kenny Pickett, man, he did show some flaws last year. I'm not oblivious to that. But, man, he's got the right vibe that you look for.
So just going by thought process, repeating going to the Super Bowl back-to-back years is insanely difficult.
It is.
And the Chiefs, they haven't gone back-to-back.
They haven't.
At least with wins.
And with the AFC just being so loaded, it's such a crapshoot. Even if you have a Super Bowl caliber roster in the AFC, that's no guarantee you're making it.
So thinking that, I'm thinking, I don't think the Chiefs make it back to the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, they'll be one of the better teams in the AFC, but I think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it back to the Super Bowl this year. So my thought process, AFC, make it into the playoffs, it's like March Madness.
Yeah,
if you can find your way to the dance, anything can happen.
And I think, it's really going to come down to Matt Canada, isn't it? And that worries the hell out of me because I have not been a fan of Matt Canada. Those of you that watch the show for a long time know that. And, in this division where you got, the Browns could be really good if Deshaun Watson is good, right? We got the Bengals that we know already are really good. You got Lamar with all those new weapons in Baltimore. It's like a bad offensive coordinator could be the difference between first place and last place in this division. And Matt Canada, I mean, his track record doesn't really speak for itself, man. That's what I will say about that. I'm hopeful. I'm excited for the season. I think this is one of the most talented rosters the Steelers have had for a very long time. And I think Omar Khan did a great job. I just can't wait to see what they do. Like, I feel like we're setting ourselves up for either like great triumph here with Kenny Pickett finally asserting himself as the franchise quarterback, or Matt Canada sucks again. He gets fired in the middle of the season.
Oh no, we suck again.
Yeah, oh no, we suck again. And then, Pickett doesn't have a great year, and then it's like he's going to be 26 in his third season, and he hasn't played well yet. You got that question coming up. So I think it's going to be a real interesting season for the Steelers, and it's going to really determine the trajectory of this franchise for many, many years to come, man. All right, so here's what I'll say. I see Anthony Fuller is in the chat. King Yinzer, okay? Right now, King of the North is Austin Tardif with a $100 super chat. Here on Steelers Talk, the King of the North is the person with the biggest super chat in channel history, okay? Anthony Fuller, if you want to break that record here, I'm going to give you a minute, and then we're gonna cut the stream here. All right. If anybody wants to be King of the North,
or if anybody just wants to ask us a question, super chat at all.
Yeah, give me a question.
We'll keep the show going. If not, studio space needs to be used, so we got to hop on out of here. But I appreciate everybody coming in.
Damien said Canada offense is like a Ferrari with a Ferrari with square wheels. I kind of agree with that, man. Like, could the Steelers be that this year? You got all these weapons there. You got Najee, you got DJ, you got George Pickens, you got Freiermuth. But like, is Canada going to be the square tires that just like screw up this season? I mean, that's my biggest fear. That's for dang sure, man. So Chuggs, my mother has a question for you. Steelers versus Vikings. So I think she put in a question earlier asking me would I cheer for the Vikings or the Steelers in a Super Bowl. I would cheer for the Steelers. I would. Getting that seventh Super Bowl title.
I don't think that'll be a problem this year. I don't think the Vikings are going to be.
The Vikings are going to stink, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And like I'm a Yinzer through and through now, man. Like seventh Lombardi. Oh my gosh, I would love to rub that Matthew Peterson's face, man.
And if the Steelers win a Super Bowl, you're getting a tattoo.
That's right. If you weren't there for that stream, if the Steelers win the Super Bowl this year, I'm getting TJ Watt's signature tattooed on my butt. So here's to the Steelers. Let's go get that done. Let's go get that seventh Lombardi, man. All right, that's going to be it for today's show. I appreciate all of the real ones that made it to the end of today's stream. Markus Golden is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Very exciting times. I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another video here on Steelers Talk.